So hello everybody, Reece's Reviews here, and so I've only really done film reviews, but I do watch a decent amount of TV as well. I wouldn't say I watch a lot of stuff. I haven't watched like the big TV shows like The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, but I have watched enough that I want to make a top 5 list. I want to make my top 5 television shows that I enjoy. Now, when I say my top 5, I mean, these are my personal top 5. They might not be the best TV shows ever made. There might be a hidden gem that you've not even heard of, which I don't think is the case for any of these. But yeah, so obviously it's my opinion. If your favourite show isn't here, nothing I can do about it. And yeah. So my number 5, getting straight in, is one that you'll all know. It's Friends. So Friends, it's just that show. It's a sitcom, American sitcom, and it is just such a fun show to watch. And there are reasons. I've written down a couple of reasons for each one. The Friends one, it's just a consistently funny television show, and that is my main thing with it. It is every single time they say something funny, I laugh. It's one of the only shows I've ever watched where every episode is consistently funny. And not only that, there's actually also some heartwarming things, like the one with Monica and Chandler's wedding, or the one where Rachel gets off the plane. It can be very, very heartwarming. But mostly, what I think this show goes for really well is the 6 main cast members. You've got Jennifer Aniston, Lisa Kudrow, Courtney Cox, Matthew Perry, Matt LeBlanc, and David Schwimmer have such good chemistry. Like, you actually feel like they are lifelong friends. You really, really do. And that's, I think, the main selling point of this show. It's not trying to put 6 people who don't like each other and making them act like friends. They actually do seem, and I'm pretty sure they are in real life, just really good friends. And that's what I love. So, yeah, in at number 4 is Better Call Saul. Now, Better Call Saul is a prequel to Breaking Bad. And Better Call Saul, I think, does what a prequel perfectly should do. And that's tell this story of probably one of the most interesting characters from Breaking Bad, because Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad, if you've watched it, you'll know Saul Goodman isn't your typical lawyer. I think it's really interesting to see how he gets there, and that's why I'm so glad they made this. And I think they included enough of the really good, interesting characters from Breaking Bad. You got Mike Ehrmantraut, Don Hector, and with the new series, you've got Gus Fring, played by Giancarlo Esposito, and it uses just the right amount of nods to Breaking Bad so that it doesn't become cliched and annoying. And then finally, I think there is such good character development in this. Whether it's from Saul's descent, Jimmy McGill's descent into Saul Goodman, or, Kim Wexler, Chuck, Jimmy's brother, who, rest in peace. That really shocked me, actually, because if you watch the end of Season 3, the last episode, it ended with Chuck, Jimmy's brother. He just knocked this lantern on the floor, and then the whole place went up in flames, and then the episode just ended. That was the end of the season. And it turns out that was actually his death, and that really shocked me. I didn't think he'd die. Well, not then, anyway. So, that was really good. And then, I think, as well, it has its own good narrative just to keep it fresh from Breaking Bad. So, yeah, really good prequel. If you have Netflix, it's on there. 4 out of these 5 shows are on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, you can watch all these. So number 3 is Rick and Morty. Now, Rick and Morty was a show that I actually didn't watch until about 2 or 3 months ago. And the reason I didn't watch it was because I thought it was just like another typical adult comedy, animated comedy like Family Guy or South Park. But I did start watching it, and I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed Rick and Morty, because I don't actually think it's as vulgar as, like, Family Guy or South Park is or anything like that. And it's still just as funny, I think. But the one thing I love about this is just the good characters all around. You got Rick Sanchez, And the best thing about Rick for me is that he never, ever breaks character. You know, he's kind of posted straight, he kind of like pinpointed early on as this kind of uncaring granddad of Morty and Summer. And that never changes. Sure, I wouldn't say he doesn't care about them, but he's not afraid to speak his mind, and that's why I love Rick. And some of the one-liners he says are just so, like, amazing. They're funny. And it's just a really inventive TV show as well. Like, the one with, like, interdimensional cable, Total Recall, the one where, like, all the memories are coming in, there's alien parasites, things like that are just so interesting. And yet, I mean, we're in the 3rd season now, and I mean, there's only 2 episodes in. Obviously, I'm from the UK, so we haven't got the 3rd episode yet. So, the 2 episodes I've watched in season 3 were really good, and yeah, I just love this show. The characters, like I say, are so well made. The voice casting is great. And because the one thing that shocked me about this in a good way as well is I didn't realise it was actually a serial television program. I thought it was like Family Guy or South Park, where, like, in one episode, so for example, South Park, Kenny died in, like, every episode in the first 4 seasons, but it never actually stuck. And I thought that was kind of what Rick and Morty was like. But then there was that one episode, Rick Potion number 9, where they leave their universe behind. They go to a parallel universe where Rick and Morty are dead and just take their lives. And then a few episodes later, Morty shows some of those bodies, and it's like, whoa, 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 I didn't realise that. And honestly, it is just so cool, and just amazing. Right, so these last 2 were so hard to rank number 2 and number 1, because I absolutely adore these 2 programs. Out of anything I've ever done, whether it's a video game, I've read a book, film, TV show, these 2 are some of the best things ever in my life. And it was so difficult to, you know, put these in an order. But I did it in the end. But I must say, the number 1 only won out by literally about 0.5% because of a reason that I will go on to when I get to it. But in at number 2 is American Horror Story. Now, once again, American Horror Story was something I'd always seen on Netflix, but I never watched it, because I thought, it's not that much. I knew people liked it, but I never thought, it never really interested me. And then I found out it was an anthology series, which means that each season, you know, the theme changes. It becomes like a completely different show. But it usually uses the same recurring stars in each season, but just playing different characters. And so I watched all 5 seasons, and then I watched Roanoke as well. And oh my god, did I love this series. I was addicted. I will say right now, I'm not proud of this, but I have watched Freak Show and Coven 8 times. Which are my 2 favourite seasons. Coven is my favourite season, by the way. Just everything about American Horror Story I love. Like, I think the characters are so well written. Because the thing is, the way it works with something like Better Call Saul, where you've got just like how many seasons of an overarching story, you've got to really get to learn these characters. But with American Horror Story, you've only got like 12 episodes a season to learn a good cast of characters. And for example, that's why I love Coven so much, is because every Coven character to me was amazingly developed. And I think it's done very well in almost every season. I also think the show is very, very, very well made in terms of its... Because it pokes nods in other seasons. I mean, Ryan Murphy, the creator, has said that they're all connected, I think. But, like, it's not clear how, I don't think. So you get these things like, for example, Queenie from Coven came into Hotel, or Lana Winters from Asylum came into Roanoke. And things like that. They make it really interesting and make it actually kind of fun to watch. And like I said, it's so wonderfully made. Like they never really have the same kind of season. Like, you know, they went from a murder house to Asylum to a freak show to a hotel to a witch coven to the Roanoke colony, and then I am so excited for American Horror Story Cult. I really, really am. Because we're getting Twisty back, woo, and Twisty. We did not have enough time with Twisty in American Horror Story Freak Show. But yeah, I was actually going to do some more videos on American Horror Story, because I did want to actually do an introduction to television reviews on my channel. And I was going to do a lot about American Horror Story, because I feel like it's the most I can talk about. So put in the comments if you'd like me to talk about American Horror Story, because I'd be very happy to do so. But in at number 1, my favourite TV show I've ever watched is Breaking Bad. I cannot, like, talk. I can't even put into words how much I wish I could go back and watch Breaking Bad for the first time, because it always finds a way to surprise you. Like, if something's boring happening, you're like, can we just go on? And then whoo, something just hits you and you're like, whoa, okay. And then everything about the show is so just good for me. Like, first of all, I have never seen anything ever where the character arcs and the character development is this perfect, honestly. Every character in Breaking Bad is done amazingly. Even if I didn't like some characters, like I wasn't a big fan of Skyler, I didn't really like Marie, but they were still they were still good characters, but I don't think you needed to like them. They didn't want you to like them. But seeing, like, the downfall of Walter White and the realisation of Jesse that he didn't really want to be here. And then you've got Saul Goodman, who's very interesting, Mike Ehrmantraut, who I love. The scenes in, like, the later seasons where Mike Ehrmantraut is, like, doing a raid. Oh my god, you're just on your edge of your seat, because Mike is such a good person at this kind of job. But then, when I used to get bored, I can usually get bored. That's why I loved American Horror Story so much, is because it kept changing. You know, it was like a new start. So, because I usually get bored of TV shows that just have the same narrative for 5 seasons, but with Breaking Bad, I never did, because, like I say, there was always something happening. There was such a gripping overall story that you never wanted to leave. And then, just this downfall of Walter White was so spectacular. Bryan Cranston, honestly, just does such a perfect portrayal of Walter White. Because like, one of my favourite parts of the entire series is at the end when he says to Skyler, in the last episode, he says, like, I did all this because I enjoyed it. And that was that final realisation that Walter White wasn't doing this to prove to get some money. He was doing it because he liked the danger. He loved being that one that everyone wanted. And I think that's, in some crazy way, relatable, actually. Honestly, it was just so... Aaron Paul was amazing, Dean Norris, Betsy Brandt, Anna Gunn, what's the other one? RJ Mitty. All just such stunning characters. The visuals were amazing. And honestly, I could go on for about this show for hours, because it honestly was, and that's what gave it the edge over American Horror Story for me, was because, looking back, the first time I watched through all of American Horror Stories, and first time I looked for all the Breaking Bads, I felt more emotionally better about finishing Breaking Bad. And I just love that final episode of Breaking Bad, because, I mean, a lot of people hate the ending of Breaking Bad. I'm not the kind of person that hates... Well, there is a spoiler coming now if you haven't watched Breaking Bad yet, so please turn away. Please turn off the video if you don't want spoilers. But at the end of Breaking Bad, obviously, Walter White dies. And a lot of people despise that. I don't hate it for the reason other people do. Everyone hates it because they're like, oh, Walter White got off easy. I don't like it because I feel like Vince Gilligan, he's gone through this whole series doing amazingly good stuff. So I feel like he could have done something better. But I still liked it. The final episode was packed with Gretchen and Elliot, Badger and Skinny Pete. That final showdown at Jack's was amazing. So there was enough in that episode, enough in the whole series for me that ending really didn't... It didn't, like, spear my enjoyment much at all. So, that's my top 5 television shows. What television shows do you love? Please tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear about them. And once again, tell me if you do want to hear more about, like, any of these TV shows. American Horror Story, I'm thinking of doing a series on American Horror Story. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you liked it. And subscribe to stay updated with my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.